Good morning.
Good morning to everyone. Namaskar, Madam Truptiben. You are most welcome to the meeting. And
Thank you.
being your junior, I heartily welcome you. I have
Thank you.
heard a lot about you from Bharti Madam and from the professors, Harin Madam, Nayan Sir, Ketki Madam as well. All
Okay.
appreciate your efforts and the way you have established yourself in this field. And we are honored to have you today. And our students will be glad to have your guidance. Thank you so much, madam. Once again,
Well,
welcome. And now I will hand over the session to you so that students can hear you. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you, Urvi Ben. Uh, as Urvi has told you, I am a student of Gurukul. I was like you people only, and after the efforts, I have passed my GSET examination. Sir has today invited me to guide you about GSET and NET examination. Actually, this is the lecture where I will tell you that the way I have prepared for the examination. There may be some ideal way, other ways, but I will share you my efforts, the way I have prepared, right? So, if you have any query, you can ask me in the end. Yes. I will ask host to allow me to share screen. I have prepared one PPT for the students. So I request the host, Dhaval Bhai, allow me to share the screen, please. Yes, thank you. Uh, the students, if I'm not wrong, they are from TYBA English. They are in the final year, right? They might be aware, they might not be aware about what is NET, what is SET. So I have prepared a brief PPT on it to give them information. Before going into the deep of preparation, let me tell you in short about the things that NET is the National Eligibility Test and SET is State Eligibility Test. If you pass NET examination, then you can apply for assistant professorship at any corner in India. And if you pass GSET examination of Gujarat, G here is Gujarat, then you can apply for a state examination in Gujarat only. And eligibility is a post graduation in any recognized university, and for open candidate, 55 percentage are required. Benefits of this examination is that you are eligible for being assistant professor. That is one major thing. And another thing which is beneficial for the examination is that you will be exempted from PET. PET here is PhD entrance test. If you have passed NET or SLET, you will not have to give any PET, and you will be exempted from that examination, and you will be directly go to the viva of that PhD proposal. So there is another benefit of this examination. If I talk about uh, the medium, NET is conducted online. Now, from this year, it has been converted to online. And SET is still offline, that you have to give it with pen and paper. I passed SET of 2014. Many things have been changed then onwards. Earlier, three papers were there, and now I have given the syllabus and scenario of NET and SET examination. Syllabus of NET and SET will remain same, right? The syllabus for NET is the same for GSET, but the questions are obviously different. Paper 1 and paper 2, there will be these two papers. Paper 1 will be of general. In general, 10 topics are there. Teaching aptitude, research aptitude, maths, science, general aptitude, then reasoning, then English, communication skills, IT. These 10 topics are there, and there will be 50 questions. Each will carry 2 marks. So there will be 100 marks in paper 1. And in paper 2, you are from English. So your core subject is English, and you will be having all questions from English literature. There will be 100 questions and 2 marks for each. So there will be 200 marks in paper 2. So there are no negative marking. So if you don't know the answer also, you can attempt it. There will be no negative marks. If I talk about paper 1, how I passed and how I got good marks in it, I solved the previous year's papers of paper 1. And generally what happens that the questions are not repeated, but the concepts are repeated, right? Are you getting me? That concepts are very much repeated in teaching aptitude, in research methodology, or in any field you see. If you solve old question papers, if you just say 10 years question paper you solve, and you go through the explanations of all questions answers, then also it will be possible. So if you have less time and you want to prepare for paper 1, then also you can get good marks by solving older papers. I did it. And I read Upkar publication books for that, and that is quite sufficient also. So whenever I used to get bored with paper 2, or rather much reading had happened, I would go to paper 1. I would solve some reasoning questions, I will solve mathematics question, and in that way I prepared paper 1 and I secured very good marks in it. As I talked about old papers, so you can see old papers of both NET and SET, right? Of paper 1 and 2. They all are easily available from their official website. Whenever in Google you will type NET old papers, you will get, or open its official site NET, and you will find old papers. And this is the key, that you will come to know that which kinds of questions are going to be asked. What we did, that we collected those papers, we got it printed, and if we find something new from it, right, we will write it down. For instance, if I got the word Bloomsbury group, then I would write down Bloomsbury group, and again I would go to internet and I will search that what is Bloomsbury group, and I will have answers, and I will read it, and I will again make notes about it, about which I am going to tell you. So about paper number 1, I discussed that which 10 topics will be there. Now I have downloaded the syllabus of English, that this 10 units will be there that you have to focus. Unit 1 will be drama, unit 2 will be poetry, unit 3 fiction and short story, unit 4 non-fictional prose. These 4 units, and under that note is written that this everything cover all literature in English. So looking at it, you will find that only 4 things are there. But no, it is not so. It covers the world literature, because so many things are written in English. In our syllabus, in UG and PG, we study most British literature, right? But here in world literature, we have to study, we have to focus on Latin literature, French literature, Greek literature, American literature, non-European literature, Indian literature, and many more. But in the last NET examination, what they did, that they eliminated world literature. They asked less question from world literature, and they focused on British and Indian literature. So it's not sure from where they ask, or but they jumble everything. So we have to be prepared for everything. Unit 5 covers language, basic concepts, theories, and pedagogy and English in use. So language-wise question in this unit. Then sixth one, English in India, history, evolution, and futures. This is a good thing that they have given an individual unit for Indian English literature. So it will be easier for preparation. Then seventh one is cultural studies. Then eighth will be literary criticism. Then ninth, literary theory post World War II, and 10th will be research methods and materials in English. Earlier, this was not there in paper 2. Research methodology was only asked in paper 1. But now they have added in paper 2. So it will be also easier because one unit is quite individual. First 4 units are so vast, but see, from 5th to 10 units, the things are lessened down. So research also carries not that much vast topic like earlier 4, and Indian English literature also not that much wide like word literature. So it will be easier for you to read. So many students ask me that what to read to crack this examination, which books to read. Let me tell you, there is no particular book that you will read and you will crack the examination. Not a single or particular book. Some students are ready and tell me that if it is of 2000 of pages or 3000 of pages, we are ready to read and we want to crack this examination. But it is not so. I have here suggested some books which can help you to have some units, but they are not the only books, right? One book is History by W.J. Long. There are many histories, Ludwig Kazamia, Compton Rickett, and others. But W.J. Long is very much student friendly. I personally followed this history. I would read from this, I would have writers from this, then I would go and search in the Google those writers, and then I made notes. So history of W.J. Long. Then literary terms by M.H. Abrahams. This is the Bible for English literature, for literary terms. This you must have if you want to crack NET and SLET. Then cultural studies by Nair. Then research methods by M.P. Sinha. Then history of English in India by K. Krishnam. Then beginning theory by Peter Berry. These are the books which can help you. Otherwise, Google, YouTube, they also help you a lot. I will talk about it later in this video, in this session, that how you can search and how you can see videos also. So again, about books, I am telling you that there is no any particular book. There are no 2000 or 3000 pages that once you read, once you put the books aside and you can pass. No, there is not a particular book, but you have to prepare by your own. For English literature, what you can do, you have to make your own notes, right? And how you can make your own notes? So many students are there who are very much dedicated. They are very much ready to do, but they don't know how to start. They don't know how to do. So for English literature, first you can do that. You can make a list age-wise reading here. You can separate the English literature age-wise. You can download, you can search it, or you can search from any history books the ages of English literatures. As I have found it out from internet, and I have put here Old English age, Middle English, Renaissance period, Elizabethan period. All these are the ages of English literature, right? So now what you have to do, that Old English literature, or for instance the Middle English literature, you have to go to the Google, you have to search the Middle English age, and then you will find so many things, including Wikipedia. First, you have to read it. What we did, we didn't read from a soft copy. We would print it out and then we read, because there will be no constancy when we read on laptop. Or I felt it, so I printed it out when I find that this is appropriate material for Middle English literature. So I got it printed. Then I would read it. If I have 10 pages of Middle English literature, then I will underline that these are the important things. There are three parts of Middle English literature: before Chaucer, the age of Chaucer, and the age of revival. There are these three things. So I will write it down, that the age before Chaucer, the life of Chaucer, the age of Chaucer, and the period of revival. Then I will read individually. I will make notes, and the things, those are important, I will again write it out, that Chaucer is important, so I have write it down. Then I have wrote down about his biography. Then I would write about his works, and then onwards I will show you how I prepared charts to remember. So in the same way, I would look for all the periods. I will search Renaissance period, I will search Elizabethan period, I will get it printed, and again I would make notes about the all the periods. As I was talking about Chaucer, then I would find the age of Chaucer. Then Chaucer is very much important for net and set. He 4 or 5 questions are asked about him. So I have taken it, and perhaps Canterbury Tales was there in your syllabus. So you might be aware of this. That's why I have chosen this, so that you can connect. I'm giving you example that how can you read, how can you make notes. So I have taken the age of Chaucer, right? So first, choosing this, I will go to look at the history of that period. Not the history of Chaucer first, but the history of that period, that when Chaucer was born. He belongs to 1343 to 1400. So at that time, what was the social scenario? What was the political scenario? That also we have to study. So at that time, 100 years war was going on. You must have knowledge about it, that at that time, 100 years war that was going on. And England and France were participated in this war. And at the end, England won. And Chaucer himself also participated in this war. That is one thing, political thing. Then the other thing, that is Black Death. Black Death means famine had occurred there thrice. People were dying, and 1/3 of population died because of famine. So this is social information. As today is the situation of COVID. At that time, the case of Black Death was there. And because of Black Death, so many people were dying. The peasants revolted. And that is another scenario, third scenario, which you have to remember. Peasants revolt. Peasants, the farmers. Actually, they were not having anything, means they could not farm because there was no rain. And because of war, the knights were having taxes on them. So they were, their situation was like sandwich. They were not earning, and they had to pay more taxes. So what they did, they revolted. So you have to remember these things, that Chaucer is not an individual. He belongs to a society. He belongs to a politics, right? He, as man cannot live in isolation, writer also cannot live in isolation. Her writings are affected by the political, social scenario. So these are the three things. If you are reading Chaucer's background, you have to write down 100 years war. Who fought it? Then again, Black Death. Then again, peasants revolt, right? And then you have to come to the biography of Chaucer, his personal information. So Chaucer is known as the father of English literature. Actually, he has started writing in English. Earlier, there were things which were written in Latin, Greek, and Chaucer has written poetry, but he has given stories. So that is also the beginning, something new for English literature. He was that much famous, that much important, that the whole age is known by his name. See, I have told you that the age of Chaucer, the, the whole age is known by a single person's name. So how important he may be, that you must know. So his age is 1343 to 1400. And Chaucer was very much interested in a journey. He traveled a lot. He traveled in European countries, and that's why he met many people, and he could write so many things because of that. He has given introduction to many types of people in his Canterbury Tales. You might have studied his prologue to Canterbury Tales, right? In that, he has introduced many persons, and so minutely description he has given. And then that was the prologue, and then Canterbury Tales. So when you are making notes, first you have to write about prologue to the Canterbury Tales, the characters which are there, knight and squire and yeoman and prioress and wife of Bath and all. You have to make notes on it, their characteristics, that how wife of Bath looked, how prioress looked, all the things you have to make out. Then another thing, when you come to Canterbury Tales, at that time there are 24 tales. Actually, Chaucer wanted to write 120 tales, right? But he could finish only 24 before his death. So you have to read all the 24 tales and you have to prepare chart of it. I will show you the chart how I prepared. So for all the stories, you have to prepare chart and you will remember the stories. Some of the Chaucer stories are so much comic. Earlier, when I started reading, I found that this is going to be so boring. But when I go into the depth, I found that this is not at all boring. I just waited to read another day that what will be the next, what will be next. And some of the Chaucer's, Ben Jonson stories are so comic that it gives you relief also. I suggest you to read Squires and Miller's Tale to get that comic relief. Chaucer has written other works also, the Parliament of Fowls. Fowls meaning birds. So birds are talking to each other and how their parliament is going on. Then Troilus and Cressida, House of Fame, Chaucer has written these works also. So this was all about Chaucer, that you can prepare in that way. So whenever you take one age, you have to go through history of it, politics of it, geographical scenario, then you come to the writers, then his works in detail. See, in detail here I am not telling you to read all the original things. Actually, it is the ideal thing to read original, but if we don't have much time, we can read summaries also from internet. It is available in internet, so we can read summaries and we can make notes from it, and we can read from our own notes only. That will be our material only, right? So this is the way you can read. In the same way, I have taken the age of Shakespeare. So I'm not going into the very depth. It will be very much the same as I talked about Chaucer. You can prepare the age of Shakespeare, William Shakespeare himself, his works. I have divided here his comedy, history, tragedy, poetry, and then we will go individually in it. And we should not forget to read their contemporaries. If you are reading Chaucer, we must not forget William Langland. If you are reading Shakespeare, we must not forget to read Marlowe, University Wits. University Wits also you must be knowing because it was there in your syllabus that Marlowe, Lily Pilly, and Nash, Kidd, they were there. They were also very much famous. They are known as University Wits. So you must know about them. So this is the point of all the ages, but it is not limited to ages. You have to read literary theories. You have to go through its ideas. Then one another important thing is groups. Some groups are there in literature, like Bloomsbury group, as I told you, University Wits, Playpen group, then Cavalier poets. So you have to make the notes on all these groups, which poets are there, which writers are there in these groups, you have to make notes on it. Yes, I was talking about chart, that I will show you how I prepared chart for reading. Because if you read some story, after 10 days, after 20 days, you are supposed to forget it, isn't it? So it is not possible that the day before examination, you again read all the stories or again read all the materials from up to end. So this is the shortcut. I have taken here Final Solutions by Mahesh Dattani. What we did that first we will read like normal reading. Then in the next reading, we will underline the things of important writers, important points. Perhaps the Final Solution was there in your syllabus. Actually, this is there in Saurashtra University, but I have no idea about Narsee Mehta University. Perhaps it was there in your syllabus. So I have taken this also because you can connect. Daksha or Hardika is there, who is the grandmother. Then she is connected to Zareen. So I have shown the arrow to Zareen. She is her friend. She is a Muslim girl. Then Daksha's son is Ramnik. Then Ramnik is connected to Aruna. I have shown the arrow. Then their daughter is Smita, right? Then Smita's friend again is Tasneem. Tasneem is the friend of Smita. She is also a Muslim girl. Then Tasneem's brother is Javed and Tasneem's fiance is Bobby. So this is the chart. Here I will not focus on the story factor. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, right? But how you can prepare the story, the connection you can see. And the most important things you can put in the side, as I have wrote. The Final Solution is about communal riots and the solution to communal things. So here, when Bobby lifts the ideal of Krishna, he tells that, see, I am touching the god and he does not mind. He does not burn me to ashes. He tells, and he wants to convey that this way communal riots or communal hatred can end. But actually, we are not given any final solution to this communal riot. So these are important things which I have written in the side. So when I am rereading the thing, right, I have to go to this chart only. I need not to read the whole play or the whole novel. So this way will help you a lot. This helped me. I had prepared everything in the chart manner. If you see Charles Dickens, if you see Jane Austen, their novels are so lengthy. There are so many characters. You cannot remember it just reading once or twice. But if you prepare charts like this, it will be easy for you to remember and it will be easy for you to read and to reread. So this way will help a lot. Now I'll give you some tips also. One, I told you that prepare your own notes, right? And read it, reread it, revise it. Revision is very much important for NET and SLAT or for passing or cracking any competitive examination. Practice makes a man perfect, isn't it? So you have to practice a lot, you have to reread a lot. The month before the examination, you should give to this rereading and revising only. Then there should be constancy in your reading. See what happens that students are sometimes so much motivated. If you see some kind of video or some kind of lecture like this, you get so motivated. If you watch Sandeep Maheshwari, if you saw Munniba Mazari, you will find that, oh, I will read a lot. But what happens? At that day, you read for 4 hours, 5 hours, but for the next day, you will not be reading because at that time you were motivated, right? So what happens that here constancy is must. Your reading should be daily. You should know your capacity, that you can read for 3 hours, you can read for 4 hours. That is your limit, maybe. So you can choose your limit and you can read every day in your limit. Afterwards, you can increase your limits. So constancy should be there, that every day I will read. Preparing timetable and sticking to it, that is most important thing. And After constancy, dedication should be there. Dedication to your aim. You have decided that I want to be an assistant professor, then the eye of the fish only you have to see, nothing else. So many obstacles will come to your way. Uh, I can bet that so many obstacles will come, but you have to overcome that and you have to be dedicated. See, this is at this time perhaps you will find that this is a kind of lecture only, but you have to be serious about your life, about your aim, because this is the time when you can give time to your studies. Later on, when responsibilities will come to you, you will not be able to get time for studies, for reading, and this is the time to make your life right. Later on, you will not have that time and you will be burdened with responsibilities. So hard work is must. There is no option of hard work. Determination should be there. One other thing I would suggest, if possible for you people, is if it is possible, you read at library. I used to read at library. And Nagar sir also tells that scholars are made at libraries and not in the classroom. When I prepared for GSET, I was living in Gandhinagar, and the library where I went, it was opened at 8 a.m. in the morning, and from 7:45 I would be standing in the queue to read. That was my curiosity to read, and I just entered into the sea of literature, and I enjoyed it a lot. So that enjoyment and that dedication should be there. Then only you can cross the sea, right? So that should be there. And one last and most important thing that you must have, that is self-control. You will think that why self-control here? Because as I told you that there is no any particular book related to NET or SLAT examination. And you have to go through NET. You have to search in NET, right? So if you are reading from your mobile, there will be notifications of social sites and it can distract you. If you are reading and you find a notification, there, if you remember, in serials and movies, you have seen those two angels, one white angel and one black angel. White angel will tell you that read, it's important for you, and that black angel, it will tell no, let us check one notification, let us answer the message, and your black angel will win to the white angel, and you'll go to the notification, you will check the message, you will answer it, and you will pass your 1 or 2 hours, right? But you have help your white angel to win, and tell yourself that this is important. Off your notification, make your phone silent, and keep in your mind that this is important for me in the life. So you have to be focused a lot, and you have to find opportunity in adversity. See, this is the COVID time. So in near future, there will be no function, there will be no more festivals, and no more be gatherings. And so you will get time. There will be no excuses. So you can read and you can prepare your notes. So in that way, you can prepare for your next set examination. Yes, any question? Any question from the students are welcome.
Okay. Do you have any question? It was a beneficial session, and we would thank Trupti Ben for sparing her precious time with us. She was in a hurry, so she couldn't join the meeting again. But I would suggest all of you, because you have just started your journey in this field. So I would request all of you કે તમે લોકો તમારી પ્રિપેરેશન અત્યારથી જ ચાલુ કરી દો. If you really want to be in this field, if you really want to be a professor, તો first year થી જ you can start preparing, right? I think two of you are in TY and Hina been first year માં છે. So you can start your preparation from now. She has talked about the British literature. the beginning part of the British literature, the Hundred Years' War and the Chaucer, how to make notes on that, which are the important things in the Shakespeare, that his tragedy, comedy, romantic comedies, historical plays. There was a chart into that, and she has given a description on that as well. I would suggest you, all of you, that when you start preparing, make a division, because there is not just a British literature. જ્યાં જ્યાં અંગ્રેજી ભાષા બોલાય છે એ દરેક દેશનું પોતાનું એક સાહિત્ય છે અંગ્રેજીમાં. If it is African, Indian, Italian, European, the whole Europe, American, Asian literature, which includes China, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and so many other countries, Asian countries, African countries, Australian countries, and European countries. So ઘણું બધું છે આમાં explore કરવા માટે, and the syllabus is quite lengthy. ઘણી વખત એવું પણ થાય that we have not come across such topics during our syllabus કે જે આપણે ભણેલું હોતું નથી, like criticism. અને યુરોપિયન લિટરેચર છે જેના મોટાભાગના કન્ટ્રીઝ છે જે આપણે ભણતા નથી, જેનું સાહિત્ય આપણે ભણતા નથી, બરોબર? પણ એ અહીંયા પૂછાઈ શકે છે. ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ, આફ્રિકન લિટરેચર એન્ડ જાપાનીઝ લિટરેચર. વી આર નોટ ફેમિલિયર વિથ ધ જાપાનીઝ લિટરેચર, બટ દે આસ્ક સચ ક્વેશ્ચન્સ ફ્રોમ જાપાનીઝ લિટરેચર. સેકન્ડ થિંગ is of translation. Indian literature માં પણ ઘણું બધું એવું છે which they can ask, કે જે મૂળભૂત રીતે પ્રાદેશિક ભાષાઓમાં લખાય છે. Suppose it is written in a Malayalam or Kannada or Tamil, right? But they translate it into English and they can make questions out of that as well. એ પણ પૂછાય છે. તો બીજો જે એરિયા છે જે અનએક્સપ્લોર્ડ હોય છે આપણા માટે, કે જે ઇન્ડિયન લિટરેચરમાં ઘણી બધી મૂવીઝ છે જે આપણા સાહિત્ય ઉપરથી બનેલી છે, રાઈટ? જેમ કે માનવીની ભવાઈ છે, ઘણી બધી છે એવી which is adapted from the literature. So they ask such questions from the cinema as well, that who is the director of this movie which is adopted from the this or this novel. So we have to be familiar with this stuff and that stuff as well. જે વસ્તુ આપણે ભણવામાં ક્યાંય આવતી નથી અને કોઈ એના ક્લેરિફિકેશન્સ પણ હોતા નથી, રાઈટ? તો એ વસ્તુ પણ ધ્યાનમાં રાખવાની. વાસ્ટ કરો, એક્સપાન્ડ ધ રીડિંગ. જેટલું તમે વાંચો છો, જેટલું તમે ભણો છો એ તો તમે કરતા જ રહ્યો, પણ ટ્રાન્સલેશન જે લિટરેચર છે કે જે પ્રાદેશિક ભાષામાંથી, રિજનલ લિટરેચરમાંથી ટ્રાન્સલેટ થાય છે બીજી લેંગ્વેજીસમાં, ઇંગ્લિશમાં, એના ઉપર પણ ફોકસ કરો, બીકોઝ દે કેન આસ્ક ફ્રોમ એની એરિયા, રાઈટ? ક્રિટિસિઝમ્સ છે, ઇઝમ્સ છે. અત્યારે as you have already studied in the Nagar sir's paper that there are so many isms, ઘણા બધા ઇઝમ્સ છે, પણ એ સિવાયના પણ એટલા બધા ઇઝમ્સ છે જે આપણે સાંભળ્યા પણ નથી હોતા, જે એ લોકો પૂછે છે. નેચરલિઝમ છે, ડીકન્સ્ટ્રક્શનલિઝમ છે, એ બધું તો આપણે ભણતા જ હોઈએ છીએ, પણ એના સિવાય પણ ઘણું બધું છે એ એરિયામાં પણ કે જે એક્સપ્લોર કરવાનું હજી બાકી છે. સો આઈ વુડ રિક્વેસ્ટ ઓલ ઓફ યુ ટુ ગો ઇનટુ ધેટ ડીપ. તમે એને એક્સપ્લોર કરો વધારે, that would be beneficial to you as well. અમેરિકન લિટરેચર છે એને પણ વધારે ને વધારે સ્ટડી કરો. આફ્ટર ધ બ્રિટિશ લિટરેચરના તમને સામાન્યપણે કહી દઉં તો બ્રિટિશ લિટરેચરમાં ખાલી 250 રાઇટર્સ અને પોએટ છે કે જે તમારે મહત્વના 250 જેટલા છે જે તમારે કરવાના છે, ખાલી 250, ખાલી બ્રિટિશ લિટરેચરના જ, બરોબર? એ સિવાયના યુરોપના, અમેરિકન, ઇન્ડિયન, એ બધા અલગ અલગ છે. અને soon after the British literature we have American literature which is as important as British literature. એના જેટલું જ બીજું મહત્વનું હોય તો અમેરિકન લિટરેચર છે, કારણ કે અમેરિકા અત્યારે ઓલ ધ વર્લ્ડ ઇટ્સ રૂલિંગ, રાઈટ? તો એનું સાહિત્ય પણ એટલું જ ચડિયાતું છે, તો એને પણ વાંચો. એનામાંથી ઇન્સ્પિરેશન ઘણા લોકો મેળવે છે, તો એને પણ ધ્યાનમાં રાખો. અનધર થિંગ that I would suggest all of you કે નેટ સેટની પ્રિપેરેશન માટે તો આટલી વસ્તુ કામ લાગે જ છે, પણ when you prepare for PhD entrance, તો PhD ની એન્ટ્રન્સમાં પણ આ વસ્તુ કામ લાગે છે કે ત્યાં પણ આ જ સિલેબસ પૂછાય છે. તો ત્યારે પણ જ્યારે પ્રિપેરેશન કરો તો આટલી વસ્તુઓ ધ્યાનમાં રાખવાની, રાઈટ? તો હવે બીજા કોઈ પણ ક્વેશ્ચન્સ હોય તો તમે પૂછી શકો છો. Otherwise we would end this session. I would thank all of you who have joined. Your time is as precious as ours. છતાં પણ તમે અહીંયા ઉપસ્થિત રહ્યા એના માટે આભાર માનું છું તમારા બધાનો. Thank you. Thank you